the KOO, but that was with Orianna, a wave clear mid. Suddenly they've gone for an assassin and just Ashe as the other AD carry option with Twisted Fate porting on top of it. With Maokai as a reliable backline engage, Prey, he's going to have to really rely on Gorilla to really get through any of these fights.
And this is a big moment for KOO. He has never before played a professional game on Fizz.
Wow.
So this is really unusual when we think about KOO. We think about his top champions, Orianna, Victor, LeBlanc, Syndra, champions that create large zones. This time, it's on a AP assassin, not really a KOO thing.
Pretty amazing stuff. Well, can KOO Tigers get the 3-0 over CJ, or will the comeback begin? Let's get in the game and find out. All right, welcome back once again to Summoner's Rift. CJ versus the KOO Tigers, and CJ almost on the verge here of being knocked out of the tournament. KOO rocking that new TF skin.
He TP'd to mid lane.
Oh, he did. Wow. Oh, cheese.
Yes.
Cheese?
Do you like cheese, Noah?
I love cheese. Oh, KOO gets gold card. Oh, whoa, nice hook. KOO flashes out of it. That was a good setup by CJ. And, I mean, that TP is going to be back up before too long, so that doesn't really hurt CJ. The flash down on KOO, that may hurt a bit.
CJ trying to dictate the pace of this game super early. They draw out the flash in mid. Suddenly, Twisted Fate's a bit safer.
Whoa! More flashes used. No catches by CJ, but they burned the one from Prey as well.
It's a nice trade. Thresh, flash for Ashe. Suddenly now Ashe is going to be super defensive in lane. Gorilla might even have to skill Black Shield at level 1 just for any potential level 1 engage. This is CJ doing something different. They have to. They're way behind in this best of 5.
Yeah, I like taking the risks here from CJ. Could work out very well for them. CJ, I think that in those late game team fights, they're certainly going to have a massive advantage. KOO has to play a very 4-1 split style. They want to make this work.
At least was forced to skill Cocoon first. They're going to need some help in the jungle. Of course, very fast jungle clear speeds. It should be fine regardless. Mad Life looking for the hook.
Yeah, but he's going to find both the bot lane members of KOO Tigers and take a decent amount of damage himself.
And we'll just see some mirrored starts on the jungling, each side starting on the Krugs. KOO will red card the Raptors with the saplings. So standard lanes coming in, and this is where this is what KOO wants right now. Definitely what they were looking for, the Morgana counterpick into the Thresh. Nice poke from Ashe, and you have that Gnar into the Maokai.
Of course, the variable they didn't consider was both their AD carry and mid lane are forced to use flash. Suddenly the pressure in both lanes is going to be that much lower. And with KOO so unproven on an AP assassin mid laner in a counter matchup where he's going to feel very pressured to try and get some sort of a lead from level, say, 3 onwards. It'd be just interesting to track whether KOO can pull this off, because the mind games will be real coming into a series against KT Rolster if he can show that he can carry on Fizz.
Yeah, and I like that. KOO here has the room to try something different. They're up 2 games in this series. After that last one, you're going to be feeling very confident. So why not try and show something to make your opponents a little bit nervous heading into the second best of 5 this week?
Yeah, if you win with it, it's intimidating for KT to see. If you don't, whatever, you've got more games to come back and win with something else, so it's not the biggest deal either way. Prey just looking for the jungler. Not going to find ambition, but at least they're going to know. So he's got that going for him.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love the Morgana pick here in the Twisted Fate, and these last 2 drafts, I really like what KOO has been doing. You have the answer for the Thresh in lane. If he tries to gank you, you have a ton of crowd control and a Black Shield against the TF2. So KOO really has all the answers. They have the preferable lane matchups. They have great, as we see Hojin coming in.
Right in. Yeah, there were wards there. There's a knock-up on the Mad Life. Mad Life, remember, has no flash right now, and it may be first blood. It will be first blood taken by Prey. Hojin gets out with his life as well, too. I think they knew they were wards there, but they just did not care, man. They went right in.
Ideal kill distribution is what gets onto the Ashe. Couldn't even flash, because remember, didn't even have to use heal for the speed up, and picks up the last hit on the kill. It's win lane, win game. It's ambition.
Oh, flash Cocoon on the KOO, and he may go down here too. He will. And there's a kill at least taken by CJ, goes to Ambition.
Is it any coincidence, though? Picks the jungle at least, a jungler that can easily pressure the mid lane.
Of course.
And suddenly KOO's set to go.
Yeah, he didn't get the kill, though, so it didn't work out as ideally for CJ as the kill in bot lane did for KOO, but both teams taking advantage of some down flashes.
Shy doing a nice job of trading early. This matchup doesn't really start to turn until Smeb buys an offensive item. Otherwise, you can trade relatively evenly with the Maokai.
Now that Hex Drinker is usually what you want.
The Hex Drinker and even the levels, just getting more levels into Hyper, because we're expecting Maokai to build for team fights, just build flat health, not really look for any resists. The magic damage from Hyper, the percentage health damage, means that around level 12, 13, Shy will find it very difficult to stay in lane against.
Fair enough. Bray and Gorilla are getting a nice little advantage in this lane now. Bray still hasn't been back to buy, but he's got a bit of a CS lead for the moment anyway.
He's happy to stay in the lane, just against a longsword in terms of extra stats. He's probably about 5 to 6 CS away from a BF sword, because of course, big acceleration picking up the first blood. So.
Of course. And KOO may be in trouble. Playful stricter use. There we go. Chilling Smite. Knock up onto KOO. He doesn't have a flash either. And there's a return kill. This one goes to KOO, though.
Jungler's paradise, mid lane.
No kidding.
Free kills everywhere.
Yeah, no flash. Huh.
This game has been really accelerated in terms of those kills due to all those flashes burned. Both teams playing around down summoners very nicely. KOO had his back up, so a logical choice for Hojin to go in. And the Rek'Sai doing work. And that's another factor. We talked about how in the late game it's easy for KOO to set up picks because of the Rek'Sai, but there's also the Hawk Shot to consider. They have so many ways of sussing out where CJ is on the map, so they know whether it's safe to dive, whether it's safe to go on a deep invade when it comes to setting up vision or even making those picks from a long way away.
And this game is on a bit of a timer for the KOO Tigers, just because in the late game, the reliability of getting on top of this Ashe, Black Shield or not, is there. We've got Elise, Maokai. Space is able to put out poke magic damage, and of course Twisted Fate can port into the back with the likes of Zhonya's. That Black Shield power is not going to be, that's not a mid lane Morgana, so in the late game, you've got Fizz and Assassin for damage, and an Ashe that's literally going to be the MVP or the VIP for everyone on CJ to try and zerg down. So I feel like you need to translate these winning lane matchups into both objectives and kills, or otherwise KOO might find it very difficult to navigate fights successfully.
We'll see. Hojin coming into the mid, finds another ward, was thinking about going in onto KOO again, but he's not going to do that. They've got a pink ward there, too.
He doesn't want to go after this. He knows what's going on. He waits for Gorilla. This is very smart.
Yeah.
Just wait for the backup right there. They don't know where Mad Life is, so this is just smart jungling from Hojin. You don't make a play until you have the position on the ward, and there's the reason why, but they're going to get it all the same.
Yeah.
Very nice patience from KOO. A lot of other teams would have just gone for that ward, and that's where you die. But this is the importance that we see between jungle and support synergy. You have to have it there so you can make the high percentage ward clear plays.
Just in jungle mindset as well, this is Hojin versus Ambition. It's the reckless Ambition who loves to invade, loves to take risks, compared to Hojin, who is a warding support, a defensive support. I think even just the mindset, that would have been a very different situation if we were mirrored on the CJ Entus side.
We'll see who goes for this first dragon now, too. A lot of wards up there for KOO Tigers at the moment.
KOO freezing, knows that Twisted Fate just has to try and push the wave from range, because if it gets too close, we all know what happens between Twisted Fate and Fizz.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't really touched on it, but KOO with the teleport on the TF this game may be a bit cocky against all of this hard CC.
That's a good point.
I think maybe you go for the Ghost there instead, so you have a little bit more ability to dodge. But he really doubled down, and he needed that TP to make that early teleport play onto the mid lane to blow the flash.
And worth noting that it would have been a mistake to take any sort of combat summoner, cleanse, heal, barrier. That doesn't help you against Fizz. You're still going to die 1v1. You don't have the base stats. So it's always going to be a team fight or group summoner like the Ghost or the teleport. So let's see if they can actually pay off this teleport, maybe GBM style, and go for some epic hijinks in the late game.
Big dive coming into the top lane. Yeah, that's right. Level 6, level 7 already for KOO. Might use that gate. They're going to wait for Meganar to be down. Well, KOO is motioning up towards top as well, I guess.
They wanted that one, but the Rage Bar was in the wrong position for them. And so Smeb was able to clear the wave. He's actually gnarring Shy right now.
Wow.
Took a nice chunk out of Shy.
Kidding. Hojin uses the opportunity to do a little bit of counter jungling too. They knew exactly what was going on. Man, Hawkshot has been so useful to keep KOO safe when he's pushing up mid lane, to let Hojin come in and do counter jungling. They've really made good use of that, Ash.
Even after this series is over, Hojin will not have played the same amount of games as Wisdom. We have to remember, this guy hasn't been in the lineup, as Gorilla takes a hook, for the vast majority of this league. Wisdom preferred for his early game, for his ability to control the early game and his mechanics. Hojin's experience counted for a lot. Their shot calling has been wonderful.
Oh, man. Ultimate used by KOO didn't hit anybody.
Bit of a buzzkill.
Yeah, a little bit. Certainly will make Dragon a bit more difficult for KOO Tigers here in the next minute or two. We'll see how aggressive they want to be. Mad Life in space, able to push up that bottom line pretty aggressively. Bottom lane. They're playing on the Korean server too much. They say line instead of lane here in Korea.
I still don't know why.
I don't know either. Because it's a line on the map, I guess. Maybe there's not a Korean equivalent for the word lane.
Stay in your line.
Maybe. I don't know.
Stay in line.
Yep, stay in your line.
All right. So they tell me.
And Fizz actually went with the blasting one start, so just furthermore keeping Twisted Fate on the back foot.
Well, it gives him such a good wave crew, too.
True.
Yeah. You can nearly clear an entire wave with that Playful Trickster.
I mean, the downside there is that
hello.
It's a little Hulk shot. No summons in mana regen means it's a bit blue gated because, of course, the flat mana cost goes up to 130 at level 9. So a lot of the mana bar be used for the wave clear. We're going just fine.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's too worried about it. Very even game so far.
Curious to see KOO choosing the Amp Tome. A lot of these TFs we see go for the Lucidity Boot straight into the Home Guard to keep that lane nice and pushed up. Even those that get the close. The TP, but this time wants a little bit more burst damage, wants that sheen.
I guess in this situation you have a ranged jungler with a bit of wave clear to kind of prop up this lane, so maybe not feeling so worried about a Fizz Rek'Sai combination pushing down his turret quickly. Usually the home guard is just keep up your turret at any kind of situation, so without the sheen especially, now with the Abyssal Scepter actually the first complete from KOO, turret pressure not that high from KOO Tigers in general.
Yeah, well, we know what happens if TF loses that mid lane turret too. Suddenly your gank opportunities go way down because you can't get as much range for your ultimate.
The deep wards also just make you so much more predictable. It's the warding around mid lane. Mid lane has always been the gold star outer turret to take first because you just decrease the options and it's even that much more relevant with Twisted Fate in the mid.
Pretty much. Wow, Gorilla taking a decent amount of poke from space. And are we going to see? No.
No, Wolf Spirit knows what's going on.
Yep.
And there's a nice dodge onto a red card, straight back into the mid lane for KOO. And here is the chip that starts to happen. Gorilla just going to lock up space right there.
A nice response from Gorilla to actually throw the binding onto space when he got hooked. Not bothering to worry about the Thresh, knowing that he needed to keep the AD carry locked down. Will we see a dive here in top lane, or is this just more counter jungling from Hojin? Looks like he just wants to grab for now. CJ is going for the dragon. I think they may have seen Hojin up there.
Yes, they did. They saw him with the Wolf Spirit, so they know that he was at the grub. They also saw him enter the jungle with a Trinket Ward.
Bring over space, pick this up, and this is actually a big thing, Monty and Doa, for CJ Entus, because remember, win lane, win game was the strategy for KOO. Look at the CS values, they're not that big difference, specifically in the mid lane, only 6 CS behind as TF versus Fizz. Now they're falling behind in Dragon Control. That's theoretically extending the game, making the win conditions more difficult for the KOO Tigers, and they have a lot of ways to neutralize Ashe. So pass marks certainly achieved by CJ Entus in the early game.
Well, KOO did get the gold lead, though, and when we consider the fact that CJ is getting extra income from having that Twisted Fate passive, it's intriguing that they're up by 1.5K already, and they're likely to take this top tower soon, especially with the way they're playing around it. Another Trinket Ward will see the Rek'Sai inside that blue buff jungle, and KOO roaming to the top side. KOO not going to find much right there. They know exactly where he is, and this is such a difficult bottom lane to dive.
Now, well, Kuro finds KOO. He gets him at the ultimate, but Gold Card hits at the same time. There's the flash. Can Kuro finish him? He can when Hojin comes in. Hojin gets a kill, tanking some turret shots. Ambition tries her play. Looks like they're going to give up their jungler. Here comes Smeb, though, teleporting down. Big Gnar. They can't save Hojin, though. Can Kuro get a couple more kills? I don't think he can. Oh, man, Kuro. Double kill now for Shy. May pay for it, though. Smeb in a lot of trouble. Shy may get the triple kill. Space Gorilla coming up as well, too. Smeb still in a lot of trouble. Flash hook. Nice hook by Mad Life. And that is 3 kills for Shy in that fight. Man, that was a big mistake by KOO Tigers.
Well, the original dive was fine, but they should have just let Hojin die because it's still going to be a favorable trade for them.
Now, why did Kuro go in?
So just watch this fight. Everything up to here is fine. They go for the dive. Probably didn't even need to invest the flash. The big issue becomes in the communication between Hojin and Kuro. Kuro has no mana. So at this point, Smeb, Hojin, and Kuro have a big communication problem. Kuro presses his W, realizes he can't use either Q or E. He has no mana whatsoever. The arrow is thrown through, but need better communication between your members and really punished by CJ Entus.
Nice turnaround from CJ.
Well, the gold lead's still a little bit in KOO's favor, but
surprisingly.
I know, but shows you just how far ahead they were objective and lane-wise before that happened, but still a dangerous moment. They really cannot let that happen again if they want this Fizz to do anything.
Well, the real problem is the 3 kills onto the Maokai, because now, how do they kill the Maokai in the late game? They simply do not have the sustained damage to handle that. So KOO really going to have to switch gears. They must get picks now. They must get the next dragon.
Dragon fighting against a Maokai that has the Righteous Glory and the Home Guard boots completed already onto Prey, who of course doesn't even have Infinity Edge yet, just gone for the pieces. The gold investment in the boots too.
Well, looks like they really want this mid lane turret. Arrow does connect with KOO, not bad, and Fizz hits him too. Easy gank for the KOO Tigers, and they'll take the mid lane turret. Talked about them needing picks. Well, there's your first one.
That's exactly how they can come back in this game to win. Turning it into the mid tower is immensely helpful for them. TF has to go out very far right now, extend dangerously, and they can repeat that gank time and time again. They didn't even have to burn a summoner to get that kill.
Oh, you'll remember just how on point Prey was with his Ash arrows in the series we saw earlier this week. This guy certainly has great aim on that ability, and that's the difference between these Ash players that are picking because in vogue and someone like Prey who's clearly practiced it a lot in solo.
Yeah.
Solo Q, not solo kill.
Solo, well, he could get solo kills later, who knows? But yeah, we even saw the Ash versus Ash, Prey versus OQ, and in the end, Prey's Ash looked pretty exquisite. Oh. Gnar ultimate, throw space in the wall, teleport coming in for CJ, though. They want to protect their AD carry. A lot of CJ members coming up right now, but it looks like KOO will be okay.
True. KOO's teleport, so that cooldown's down.
Yeah, it did. Teleporting into the top side. Gorilla also flashed to try and get that kill, but then turned around once they realized that KOO was coming up into the top side. KOO now on a bit of a warding mission deep into the enemy jungle. Getting the necessary information.
This is going to get messy. Ambition all over Gorilla. Gorilla taking a lot of damage. Prey a little bit zoned out. There's a gold card. He dodges a flash with the well, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, Ambition gets low, gets taken out. And Space in a lot of trouble. He needs to get back to his team right now. They're going to catch him with the Prey Seeker. Hojin zoning him out, and there's a kill for Prey. Oh, boy.
It was really more of a Space Seeker than a Prey Seeker.
I guess so, yeah. Some Prey Seeker that benefited Prey in the end. But Shy gets bottom turret, so still a very close game. KOO just with a small lead, although may not be as small after they take this tier 1 turret up in top lane.
They've got the boots too on Ash. They were happy to rotate around the map. There was no dark passage up from Ambition, sorry, from Mad Life, so wasn't able to get space out. They're going to keep applying pressure. They still have the Fizz ultimate, so no rush to back away.
KOO playing it out. They just need to keep scrapping right now, using their CC advantage while Shy's TP is down, because if we notice what KOO's doing, they're playing away from Shy. They see, okay, fed Maokai. We're not going to try and deal with that right now. What we're going to do is just kill the members of his team while they have that. And of course, Bob Malmornius now completed onto Smeb. This just screams split pushing.
Yeah, but will KOO be able to take this next dragon that's coming up in 10 seconds? That's the big question.
It's super risky to invest so much into an offensive item, a split push item, against a person you've already donated all this gold to. Okay, Shy has built for team fights, but will there actually be a scenario where Smeb is appreciably stronger than Maokai, even though this is the level 12, level 13 area where he should really run away with the 1v1?
Well, he's setting up for a TP. His Gnar bar is about 2/3 of the way full. It's ticking down slowly right now, but KOO surprisingly going to try and make a play here.
Yeah, CJ just going for the tower right now. Coco's going to be able to take up mid lane turret. Dragon getting low. Can they get it? KOO needs this one. Shy pops the ultimate. Dragon taken by Ambition. He smited it away. Smeb coming from the side, though, but not close to Mega Gnar at all. Shy tries to get in the back lines here. KOO on the run already. This is a weird fight. Smeb needs to flash away. Nearly Mega Gnar, but it's coming so late. TF ready to ult in, ready to try to get a pick here, and there's so many targets to choose from. KOO wisely grouping up here. Nice slow from Smeb, throwing that building into the back lines. And KOO Tigers still in a bit of trouble. Oh boy, like fish in a barrel. Kuro comes back in, he manages to take out Coco. A kill though for Space and a double kill for KOO. Space manages to get one himself as well. Ambition in a little bit of trouble. Hojin trapped by Space and Ambition. CJ's going to take this fight. There's the near ace. Only Gorilla getting out, and there was just nowhere to go. I'm surprised they got as much as they did.
Well, they lost the Dragon. They lost the fight.
Oh, geez.
There was just the target selection against KOO was the best. Importantly, both Fizz and Ash were zerged down. Prey didn't have flash, so died very early in this fight. And once those two members go down, I don't care if you have the more Mount Mortis. This is no damage left in Space, mostly free hitting this fight.
Well, you just don't even take that fight if you're KOO. You don't have the items to do it. You don't have the team comp to do it, as we saw right there. So CJ getting further empowered. Coco may have been shut down, but he's still doing work.
Yeah, and how in the world do you stop CJ now if you're the KOO Tigers? I mean, you're losing so much of the map that you're not really going to have the ability to make a lot of the picks you need.
And the Kuro experiment onto the Fizz is certainly not necessarily looking great. Okay, getting solo kills, getting duo kills onto Twisted Fate, that's not even a par for the Fizz versus TF matchup. It's just an inevitability. But navigating team fights without these control abilities, without the wild growth, without the shield, the command protect, into the threat of the shockwave, KOO look a lot less potent in team fights when the control mage is not there in mid.
Oh, Space was up too far by himself, dodges that Dark Binding, gets Nard against the wall. Space cleanses out of it, still in trouble. Shy coming from behind, gets out on the Lantern. Shy's still there, and there's not enough damage. Prey coming up now, what can they do? It's a little bit of a slow. Kuro coming in as well. Mad Life protecting his top laner, and it looks like CJ is going to be just fine here. Kuro committing a lot to that one. Can they save their turret, though?
They got 2 teleports out of CJ for that trade, so as long as they can hold the turret, they're going to be in a good situation when it comes to that exchange. But that's the big question. Space is already low. They're getting some decent poke damage down.
Destiny's still available for any sort of re-engage. Haven't seen Coco's items recently, but don't think he has a Zhonya's. Probably no crazy moments yet.
Prey's still got that Ash arrow, too, and that's something that CJ needs to be aware of. Are they going to throw it in? Maybe soon. We'll see. Doesn't look like it. All 10 people at the top of the map right now, and that turret at about half health.
Think back to game 1, where KOO was in a kind of similar position, where they had an Orianna to clear waves, an Orianna to delay till Prey hit a certain item timing. And there's still an item timing here for Ash, where he can at least threaten to do damage to the likes of Maokai. But this is not the time. That's why you see KOO back away. And they don't have Kuro on a champion that can delay the game. They need to keep it at a certain tempo. Otherwise, CJ are just going to dominate the game from here on out.
And for the first time, CJ actually takes the gold lead in this game. They had it. They were down until they took that top turret.
Abandoning it, Smeb just heading right down into the bottom side to see if maybe, just maybe, they can take down this bottom tier 1 and try and affect some sort of gold trade. That is a very slight advantage for CJ Entus, but this is a team that's much more suited to fighting in the mid and late game, and wresting control of that dragon away from CJ Entus will prove quite difficult unless CJ makes a very large positional or warding error. And when we talk about KOO's composition in a pick comp, well, often TF is one of the best things because you don't even need to use that Destiny in a team fight to get into the backline. You can simply just use it as you approach a dragon, and there's nothing KOO can do.
Fun thing is he's not even building for a zone. He's not even looking to go for the aggressive Destiny, so you can just keep that Destiny for the vision, keep that Destiny to overcome any shortcomings in warding, and you already have the control over objectives, so you don't even need TF as this panic engage option. You can just use him as this kind of control to back up your already solid warding and dragon and objective advantages that you've put together in the first 25 minutes.
Here we go. So CJ now moving down to the bottom side after setting up the side waves.
1 minute until Dragon. KOO's got pretty good wards around it, but like we talked about, how do they stop CJ from taking?
Get a pick. They got a pick comp.
That's it.
KOO needs to justify the choice of the Fizz in the mid lane. Certainly haven't been convinced by it so far. But without exclusive vision, without multiple pinks, and they do have 2 in the area, but you need kind of aggressive vision to make the enemy predictable, and of course the denial of vision with the pink wall. They don't have both parts of that together, and Mad Life's on a vision quest, and suddenly, what can Fizz do?
Well, not a lot. I mean, he's done okay, but he needed to do better than okay. He needed to do well, and I mean, they are 2 games up, so there is some room for experimentation. Like we saw before, Gorilla gets grabbed, actually gets cocooned after that, taking a lot of damage, has to flash away. Got to be careful when you're warding like that.
They already made a mistake fighting around the second dragon where they didn't need to. This should be an easy third dragon to CJ's. Without the flash, with Gorilla very much on the back foot. Smeb's trying to create pressure, and that's the most they can really hope to accomplish in the next minute or so.
So if you're KOO, do you maybe try to threaten Baron while CJ goes for the dragon?
There's not really a way you can tank Baron safely right now.
True.
Considering how squishy the Gnar is, so that's, even if you do, they have 2 teleports. Just 1 right now with the gate off cooldown, but it's too risky because if they engage on you, you're just going to lose the game.
Well, that's 3 dragons in a row now, and even though the gold is dead even, the advantages are looking pretty obvious for CJ at this point, oppositionally.
All they really have, KOO Tigers, is the fact that Gnar should be comfortably beating Shy at this level and this item timing, even with the Frozen Heart completed, should be in a pretty good spot, but not in a landslide spot, so that's why it's just being very overextended without really turret taking pressure from the Gnar.
Yeah. Go down the bot lane. What will KOO do? I mean, they're just so stalled out right now, you know?
All CJ has to do is just play around Dragon for the rest of the game, and they've got this in the bag. There's no reason why they should go for any kind of epic plays at the moment. They have twice the number of globals. They have the 3 dragon stacks. They just need to play around the pit and use the TF ult defensively to make sure that no one is surprised. And that's very important here because Prey can attack you from out of the fog of war with the Crystal in Error. So I would just go use the Destiny preemptively. Don't really care because once you're grouped, they lose all their power. And even if you don't gate into the backline, you're still going to be absolutely okay.
The moment you pick a pick comp, the moment you pick Fizz mid, that's why the phrasing you guys used was so important. What can KOO do? What can KOO force? Because it's on KOO to force things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if CJ just get more and more time, they're in just a better and better spot as this game goes on.
Well, they do a decent amount of damage to this bottom turret, but KOO takes quite a bit in return from space.
It's just to a point, though, Doa. There's 2 teleports, there's the Destiny, there's so many ways to relieve pressure or create pressure on the polar opposite sides of the map. So how can KOO actually force an objective without a wonder pick that they just don't have the vision to support?
Yeah, it doesn't look like they can. I mean, it really looks like they're going to rely on a mistake from CJ at some point to open up the possibility of a win. But CJ can just kind of choke them out over the next 10 minutes or so.
And the key moment of this game was really that dive that went so badly for the KOO Tigers. Had they just backed out right there and only given up the 1 kill, they probably would be in a just fine position in this game. But by giving 3 over to Shy, probably the worst person on CJ they could have given them to. You don't really care if Twisted Fate gets them, I don't think, if you're the KOO Tigers, but having a tank like Maokai in the late game when your damage sources are Fizz and Ashe is a very unfortunate thing because the burst simply won't get through the Maokai ultimate.
Maokai was accelerated in terms of teamfight build with the instant Righteous Glory home guard boots, was able to very quickly transition into just items to deal with Smeb in lane, and so the flow-on effect is that now Smeb can't adequately threaten Maokai's turret, and that's one other angle to the game, another win condition for KOO that's kind of gone.
I want to see some more aggressive arrows. Prey needs to go for
Well,
it, man.
KT will be playing later this week, don't?
Well, it's a different kind. That's not what I had in mind, you know? That arrow will be aggressive as well, too. I want to see Prey's aggressive arrows.
I want playoff Arrow Draven. Make it happen.
Please, no.
If you want KT to lose, then sure, I guess.
They can lose one game. That's fine.
Well, looks like KOO may lose one here. Likely. Trying to control vision in their own jungle, and it's about all they can do.
KOO will definitely look back on this draft, depending on when they win or lose. Work out whether it was the calculated risk to go for Kuro on just a new identity of champion, or whether it was the first step into the death knell of their hopes in this best of five.
Oh, trying to go in onto Prey. They're going to pop the gate. Not going to get anything out of it, but they do push KOO back quite a bit.
Not really going to have that big of an effect besides maybe getting Prey's flash out if KOO decides to engage in a dragon fight, which they probably should not anyway.
We'll let CJ put a lot of pressure on this tier 2 in mid as well, too. Hojin coming from the side. And what can they do? Wow, that hook narrowly missed Hojin. And Kuro. Oh, arrow coming through. They get KOO. They're going to go in. Fizz ultimate as well. Nice 3-man knockup. Wow, and CJ in a lot of trouble here. They go in. Gnar with a kill. Gets in the back lines. Mad Life flashing away. Big Gnar ultimate throw Shy. And Ambition over to the wall. Kuro gets another one. Can they take out Shy? He's so tanky. Nice hook onto Gorilla. A kill onto Hojin. And Space still doing a lot of damage. There's the cleanse. And Kuro may need to turn around here. KOO going in. A lot of damage onto Space. And now you turn around. You've got 3 members. It was a 3-for-1 off of the arrow for Prey. Can KOO maybe get a dragon from this too?
They don't have smite, so the hopes of taking Baron are kind of dashed. It's not a realistic objective.
Dragon's not up, yeah.
And Dragon's not up. Baron would have been the big equalizer, would have given them a split pushing Fizz with the Baron buff minions to maybe create some global pressure, but now they back away. They don't get a lot, but the gold is important.
Well, we talked about how good Prey's arrows were, and right there he hit KOO, led to a 3-man knockup from Hojin. I mean, Kuro was right there with what he needed to be on the Fizz. Let's watch that again.
Space had the QSS, so Coco's the only one that really forces this engagement. So really nice engagement for him.
Yeah, they got the knockup there from the Fizz Fish too, so they tied up the front lines for a while, but honestly, this is kind of the best scenario you could hope for from a KOO Tigers engage. Catching Twisted Fate is just not exactly a reliable way to start a team fight. Space, of course, will just QSS out of that stun, but what does it do for KOO, really? Like you said, gets them a little bit of gold, but they're still fighting an uphill battle in a 5v5.
Certainly are. They are up in gold at the moment, which is kind of funny to see, considering these team fights and how they've gone. KOO Tigers may be thinking about going for this dragon right now. It's pretty risky, though.
This has the Zhonya's. Coco's on the flank, though.
Yeah, and Shy taking a little bit of damage. Is Space's QSS up again? That's what I'm wondering. I think
Can't tell.
yeah, all right, they're going to go for the dragon. CJ coming in, they catch Shy again, but he's so tanky. Keep that in mind. Smebs with Mega Gnar, dragon taken by KOO. They needed that. Kuro dodges the hook. They're going to throw the Fizz ult onto Shy.
Oh.
There's a knockup, and Shy's tanky, but he's not that tanky. 1v5 does not work, and KOO, they find a kill on Shy. Wow, Smeb, you got to back off, buddy. There we go. Find a kill onto Shy. They get the dragon. They needed that bad. Can they get anything else now?
Positioning is so awkward for Space. He actually needs to stand in front of Coco just to be able to QSS the arrows. Not your natural instinct as an AD carry to duke into skill shots, but Coco doesn't have Zhonya's, only has part of the arm guard, as that's a cute way to get out.
Smeb escaping from Coco with the TP back to base.
Barely getting out before the pick a card came back up for Twisted Fate, but does get the tower, does get out, does bring KOO to that 4K gold lead in this game, and are threatening a comeback, but when Mad Life gets the Crucible, that is going to be a pretty important timing.
Yeah, and he's close.
And the item timing that's, I think, the most important is KOO's Zhonya's. He needs to be able to Zhonya's the fish. He needs to be someone who can catch it. Of course, not ideal, but just have some counterplay against it. Because right now, game ends or CJ loses a fight if the fish ever goes on to KOO.
Certainly vulnerable. KOO Tigers gets a decent amount of vision out of that last pick, out of that last dragon.
You finish that Zhonya's, suddenly you can get aggressive for the gold card onto Prey. Suddenly you can push up a little bit. But for now, he's basically hiding behind his AD carry, which is never a spot you want to be in as a mid laner.
Every time I see that Prey Seeker from Pool Party Rex, I'm like, is that the Ash Arrow? No. Just for a split second, it looks like it. All right, KOO moving in onto the Baron now. Speed Shrine, Scuttle Crab still being occupied by CJ at the moment, so they know what's up.
KOO can split push in the bottom lane, has Lich Bane, has instant wave clear, and has teleport and Destiny to get into a fight. So happy to just pause another thorn in the side of the KOO Tigers. Don't have any teleports, of course, available.
It's amazing that KOO is 4K gold ahead right now.
You'd think that CJ have so much more access to waves just because with the lack of globals, with all the globals on the side of CJ, that they pick up more minions, which is a flow-on effect of the laning phase.
Well, CJ also was willing to use their teleports at a relative hair trigger, and they got overcommit a little bit with those global abilities, which caused them to lose some CS in turn. But still not doing too shabby, all things considered. The question is, can CJ hold it together long enough to reach that 6-item state? And KOO, can they continue to get the picks they need? And
oh, arrow comes through. Mad Life barely dodges it. That would have certainly been a pick. It would have connected.
It's the power of Ash.
Yep, and that arrow is on a very short cooldown, so Prey can keep doing that all day. Uh-oh. Is it time? Bug Splat!
Playoffs, Bug Splat. Yay!
Prey's been splatted. Space, a splat from space. Yay! Bug Splat.
This is my favorite part.
Look, it's this is what Prey, or this is what Space looks like when his team is down 0-2, and that's what Space looks like when his team is winning games.
Wow.
The dichotomy. To Prey. It was the best of Spaces. It was the worst of Spaces. There's Prey.
On the other side, and he is Big Bird, and he is Ezreal taunting you, and we are continuing to Bug Splat here in this game so far.
We've had this happen before. Ernie, why do you have the Bug Splat? That's what Bert would say right now. Why do I always do impressions of Muppets? Why does that happen? I watched a lot of Sesame Street when I was a kid, but hey,
I think we all did, really.
Did you watch a lot?
I did.
Papa
It
Smithy?
was big in Australia as well.
It was? Okay. Just wondering if...
But the Muppets Super Show, that was the real thing.
Oh, really? The Muppet Super Show.
All right, we are going to watch Hojin's perspective for the time being, I guess.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to watch it. I
This
guess
is-
you guys can too.
Yep. We'll watch Hojin clicking furiously on the map.
We might be back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, are we back? I think we are. Let's
Oh,
see.
no, Hojin!
Oh, there we go. Oh, he got caught. But he's okay. Okay. Speaking of being okay, we are okay, as the Bug Splat has been unsplatted.
So I've done some sleuthing, Monte Cristo. You were asking how, with the likes of the Twisted Fate passive, the gold lead is so stark in the advantage of KOO, because the CS values are pretty similar. Count the assists. So look at the assists on the side for the 10 kills. There's 8, 10, 11, 15 assists all together for 10 kills. On the side of KOO, and this is always a stat with the KOO Tigers, 12, 19, 26, 34 assists for 12. So they're just averaging about double the assists per kill. And that's what's just donating gold across multiple members on the KOO Tigers.
They're staying together and making plays as a team.
This team has the highest assist per total assists per kill, and that they're always looking to 5v5 fights for their objectives, and that's why multiple assists, I believe 2.8 assists per kill is what they average as a team.
That's actually super high.
And the highest in champions, and CJ definitely not high on that particular objective.
Banner just picked up 4 ambition. Meanwhile, Shy has grabbed his Thornmail, and this is the point where it probably goes over the top for CJ. Having such huge item thresholds. Mad Life has the Crucible right now. Zhonya's down for KOO. if they're not going to win with these items, they're not going to win this game.
Seriously.
The hope for KOO, and honestly, this is kind of a crazy thing to say, but get the void stuff onto Kuro and have Kuro kill Shy. Because Shy, he's got a Spirit Visit, doesn't have any other magic resist. And with the 20% damage amp, you still do relatively decent damage to even a full tank Maokai.
Oh, gate activated. CJ wants to know where the Tigers are at.
This is exactly how it should be used, though, right?
Yep.
Is because the dragon is live, he's just going to move up into the top side. He has teleport to get back into the fight, so they're trying to outmaneuver on the map. But just use it early. Stop giving KOO the chance to fight you. Smeb will go.
Oh, KOO taking a lot of damage. Gold card used. They're going to wrap him up with the cocoon as well. KOO's still in trouble. Wow, Smeb's about to go Meganar, too. That was a dangerous moment for CJ. And I guess they have their answer to TF Swift Push, don't they?
As long as the teleport is up, if they ever bait out that teleport, the strategic options CJ have are just night and day to whatever KOO can put together. They only have a single dragon, fourth dragon, and the both teleports being available, and the headaches for KOO are real.
Well, dragon is up, and Kuro actually recalled right as that happened. Teleport coming in for CJ. KOO's going to join his team. And I don't think KOO can get there soon enough to stop this. Teleport coming down from Smeb. They're going to try to come in from the side. He's not Meganar, though. He's not even close.
He's tired right now.
CJ's still going for this dragon. Kuro coming in. Where's the Ash Arrow? Dragon gets taken by CJ. Actually, Fizz all over onto Space. Space and KOO already very low. There's a kill for Fizz. Shy in the back lines, but they've lost a lot of damage. Double kill now for Kuro. Can they get more? CJ just taken apart. They lost both their carries. They're going to lose Shy. They got the fourth dragon, but they will be aced. There it is, a triple kill for Kuro. Now, what can they get? They need the Baron, but what do they get after that?
Surprising, they're not trying to rush down mid to get any turrets. They're going straight for the Baron first after what was a surprising teamfight victory. But Kuro, showing up late, did so much work disrupting the backline, and no one was peeling for the carries.
Right, and you also have that issue where they broke the fight out into those skirmishes in which KOO can be successful. And instead of peeling backwards, Shy decided to try and get onto Ash, but Ash can just kite him all day. So there's not really a lot of points to that. If we take a look at this team fight,
what a play by Kuro.
That cleanse was so early, and he flashed into KOO for the knockup. KOO also never used his Zhonya's in this team fight, so tried to use the Crucible, but just goes down. That was actually a host of team fight misplays by CJ Entus, because Space blew the QSS early, then flashed directly on top of KOO, knocking him up. KOO didn't even use the Zhonya's Hourglass, and Shy is trying to deal with Ash. Ash is not a threat. You need to come back and protect your carries.
Battle of late game team fighters. Remember, Kuro was not there at the start of the fight. Smeb teleported in without any sort of rage bar. He only used Meganar to kill Madlife at the end, and still KOO picked up the fight. And suddenly, there is a Void Stuff and a huge amount of AP on Kuro. Everyone is a potential target now for this Fizz.
Man, I can't believe it. We talked about Prey being the one with teamfight positioning issues coming into this one, but Space has had those problems all day.
Well, Madlife also misused Crucible in that fight. There were so many misplays from CJ.
Fizz ult, hands on ambition. They're going to take that bottom turret out of it as well.
It's on a hilariously short cooldown at this point.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Already a quarter off cooldown.
Well, KOO has this big dive potential now.
Maybe not with the Fizz ultimate down. So.
Oh, yeah, with the
so much
hilariously
short
cooldown. Yeah. They've got it. Meganar a little bit early. They may need to let this one go, although those cannon minions are doing a lot of work right now.
Getting into about 20% health. Rek'Sai was poking around the mid lane.
Yep. Gotta be careful. If Shy gets into your backline, it's still going to be a big problem. That turret almost down, and if they can open up an inhibitor.
So, Monty, what's the correct use of Maokai in these fights? Because Maokai's been big this whole game, but hasn't been deciding the fights. It doesn't feel like shutting down Prey has done enough work for CJ Entus.
I think that Madlife just needs to make sure that he's back there with the box ready to go.
Shy thinking about coming in. He gets locked up in the dark binding. That's a lot of damage. Fizz does it. Smeb takes him out, though. They get the turret. They get a couple kills. CJ on the run. This could be it. This could be the end of CJ's season. It certainly looks like it. KOO goes down. Another double kill for Kuro. There goes the inhibitor, and there is nobody to stop KOO from 3-0ing CJ Entus, moving on to face KT. KOO Tigers, they are back. Man, look at this. ambition, space, they're all that stands between CJ and the end of their season, but that is not enough. The Nexus goes down. GG. KOO moves on.
I am incredible.